Hi, I want to read a little bit about hot and cold cognition, and I have a little bit of Colin Ross and Karina Seichtruth on video here that I want to go through too. Today is about the parental role in therapy. And the reason I bring up the parental role in therapy is because it's something I personally go through, and your beliefs on things are maybe different. What happens for me is it's like foster caring. Basically what's happening is my alters are being taught what a parent should be through therapy. Hence, the older alters are being taught how to parent the little alters, which is something I've brought up before. Now, hot and cold cognition. Some people say that the DID brain is the most complex thing in the universe. And why shouldn't they? Enclosed in the skull are billions of neurons, each of which connects to an average of 1,000 or more neurons. These neurons form various architectural layers, including local circuits, subcortical nuclei, cortical regions, and systems. This set of network-like activations is called Parental distributed processing, PDP. Most brain activity is outside of the consciousness or phenomenal awareness. In fact, most of what becomes conscious is usually linear or surreal. Thought processes, focal attention, and autobiographical memory, storytelling and language reception and production are there. Thus, the majority of the brain activity is parental, but somehow we are aware of and produce surreal thinking. Hot and cold cognition. Again, before returning to the therapy office to see how the ideas of consciousness and parental processing influence our therapist/patient interactions, a few words on hot and cold cognition are in order. When we as therapists try to understand the interactions between parent and child and between therapist and patient, we need an understanding of both hot and cold cognition. All of these processes directly shape thought and reasoning. There are ways of understanding how early life experiences shape the structure and function of the brain. Experiences such as emotional neglect, insecure attachments, loss, or trauma may produce specific cognitive patterns, both hot and cold. So it's basically saying you can have over emotions or under emotions. Now, they're going to give an example. The mind/brain can be a certain state of mind that include dominant emotional tone, behavioral response patterns, memory acceptability, and schemata or mental models. In infants, states of mind change rapidly and abruptly. For example, laughing to crying, to smiling within minutes. It is a developmental achievement to have smooth transitions across states. If a parent provides conflictual behaviors at one time, being available emotionally at one point, and at another time become threatening, the infant may use state of mind shifts to adapt to this inconsistent set of behaviors from the same caregiver. So it's kind of saying children go with how the parent's treating them. Okay. Makes sense. As many authors have noted, people with DID have reports of early chronic childhood trauma in children. In addition to the actual physical aspects of abuse being traumatizing, the perpetration of abuse state transitions may also be developmentally damaging. The establishment of cognitive barriers that prevent access across mental states appears to be a fundamental aspect of a developing DID. So what it's saying is DID is developed because of whatever's going on in the environment and the parental role itself. Okay. Now, with a patient who has DID, therapy may be particularly complex. For example, one altered personal state may perceive you, the therapist, as being comforting and open. That alter may be motivated to tell you what it knows about experiences as a child. Another alter, feeling suspicious of your intentions, may attempt to block the first alter's recounting recounting, or even to take executive control of the body. This internal process may be experienced by the patient as confusion or anxiety. You may perceive this moment as the patient's hesitation or reluctance. The story that emerges may reflect both the divided access to memory and the patient's mixed motivations towards becoming vulnerable to you. I thought that was interesting. Okay, and again, that is out of the book. It's actually done by a few authors, Irvine D. Yellum and Jossie Bass, and that's called Treating Dissociative Identity Disorder. Now, I'm going to get into the Colin Ross thing before my time runs out here.
And it's not just this problem or that problem or that problem, but the mental health field in general.
Very interesting. So, in terms of sexual abuse and childhood trauma, one of the things that we see is that there's this recurring of the person to get themselves in abusive, situations. Can you speak to that at all?
Well, that's actually pretty easy to understand. If you've grown up in a family where everybody speaks English all the time, you end up in the pattern of speaking English. If you grow up in a family where everybody likes to hunt and fish, the odds are you're going to hunt and fish. If you've learned that your role in life is to be an object for sexual use by others and abuse, you just kind of learn that pattern and it carries on until it gets interrupted by some sort of recovery process.
So that video is called Childhood Trauma and Sexual Abuse, and it is with psychiatrist Colin Ross and Karina Psychtruth. So if you want to learn more about that, it's on YouTube. So I hope this was kind of helpful. No legit answers, but I'm just kind of pointing out that there's like a certain role that can be very helpful in therapy. And mine is based on the therapeutic role of parenting. Basically being reparent. My little alters are being reparented to learn to take care of themselves, to adjust to what is okay and not okay. Relearning. Hope this was helpful. Loves. Bye.